Now, when you see those lists of the 10 best cities in the UK, this probably is never going to appear on any of them. So we've come here today to find out if this city is worth visiting. Welcome to Exeter. Exeter, this is your time to shine. We're not even going to hold the weather against you. So we're actually starting our day just north of the city of Exeter at the Killerton estate. As you can see, the weather isn't the greatest this morning, but it is scheduled to brighten up later. Fingers crossed.
As long as it rains while we're inside.
That's true, yeah, and it seems to have kept a lot of people away as well, because the roads on the way here were really quiet.
So one thing I will note, very weird, but I'm going to point it out anyway, the toilets are very strange. I felt really stupid when I went in there. I walked into the toilet, it was one room and one door, but to me it looked like it was just a cubicle, so I just stood there and waited, and then someone came out and I was like, oh, and I pushed it in, and then there was another room, urinals and other toilets. It was weird.
That's a lot about the toilet block.
It was weird. I don't know. There was one room, another room, and then a final room.
I was reading though while you was in there, apparently it used to be the old granary, so that's probably why.
Oh, but they can at least make a sign posted for stupid people like me.
Well, Killerton House itself doesn't actually open until 11, so perfect excuse to dive into the coffee shop for a coffee. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hopefully the rain will pass while we sit here as well.
Fingers crossed.
Wow, the outside of the house is absolutely beautiful. Look at that.
I reckon on a beautiful, bright, sunny day, she's going to be stunning.
She looks incredible today. I mean, those plants and everything growing alongside of it. It's a very unusual colour, isn't it?
It is a very unusual
It's
colour.
giving me like Mediterranean vibes rather than Devon.
I was expecting bigger as well.
Maybe it's deceiving though. It's probably like a TARDIS. It might go back really far.
Yeah.
Now, while we wait for the house to open at 11, we're just having a wander around the gardens, and even on a bit of a grey, miserable day, these look fabulous. The colours are really popping.
They are. Also, the grass, it's got lines. It's like perfect lines. If you look over there.
Oh yeah, I can see what you mean. It's like a football pitch.
Yeah.
Lawn goals, hashtag lawn goals. We're gonna just have a quick walk up this hill to the bear hut. We thought we might as well come and do that while we wait for the house to open. As you can see, still raining. Your brolly's matching the colours of the plants. You're fitting right in.
Matchy matchy, I thought about that.
Oh, now this is really cute. It reminds me of like the cottage the dwarves lived in with Snow White.
Yeah.
It's giving that vibe. But they've had quite a view as well if they did live here, because it's right on top of this hill. Should we go in?
Let's go in.
Dopey, sneezy, Doc. This.
Oh.
This is adorable.
This is not what I was expecting inside. It's very well groomed.
I was just reading on the sign though, it was a summer house, which is kind of what I guessed it was, but
Right.
I don't think I've ever seen a summer house like this.
No, this would be perfect. When you know when you were young and you made like a little hut when you were a kid, I did that.
I mean, you'd have been proud if you'd made this hut when you were a kid.
I was going to say, if I made something like this would be the king of the camp, mate.
I mean, look at the floor. It's like all, well, it's not really mosaic, but it's like patterned stone, and then the ceiling's all like
I thought
decorated.
it was tree stumps.
Is it tree stumps?
It's tree stumps.
Oh, it is tree stumps. Yeah, you're right.
Do you want these?
I need another coffee, clearly. I was going to say, anyway, the ceiling's all decorated with pine cones. They definitely are pine cones, but like in really cute patterns. There's even a fireplace in here and a little wicker bench that you can sit on and then look out the window at the views that lets the light in. And then round the corner, Josh noticed.
Is it a stained glass window? Something like that?
A really cute stained glass window.
Although, I don't think I would have a fire in here.
No,
This
not
would
these days.
catch fire
Health and safety risk.
big time.
It's a very elaborate summer house though.
Yeah.
Gives me high hopes for the actual house.
Yeah.
We've just come around the back where the stained glass window is as well, and we've noticed these, the actual rafters of the roof, they've got like little deer heads on the end made out of wood. Look, they've even got little eyes. And bonus, before we go back down to the house, apparently it's a nice house.
Ah, I forgot about that. So the summer house was in amongst there. We've had to climb even higher.
Not too far though.
Not too far. I'm assuming this is the ice house.
It looks a little creepy.
It does look a little bit creepy.
It looks like, it looks like a hobbit house more than an ice house,
Yeah.
like an earthen house with all the stuff growing over the top.
Yeah, no, I can see that, yeah. But it does look eerily dark in here. To this is, oh, this is like, it's where someone's going to jump out and go, "Ugh!" Oh, this is scary AF. Oh, there is a light. I was going to say, we need a light down here. Oh, don't know how I feel about that. Reminds me of a movie. Reminds me of a movie. As you walk in, that looks really dark and creepy, but as you get in, your eyes adjust, so it's not too bad.
I still wouldn't like to get stuck in it though.
No, definitely not. Should we go look at the house now?
Yes, and we're going to go a slightly different way back because I think this other path takes us through the rock garden.
Oh, cute.
Well, the house is very grand inside. Definitely a different vibe to the Holiday Inn Express that we're staying in.
Oh, definitely.
There was some really friendly staff in there though, giving us loads of information and making it really fun. Apparently there's 2 chandeliers hanging in one room. One of them's original and the other one got replaced in the 1800s, but nobody knows which one's which. It's all a big mystery.
One's grand, one's not.
And apparently the guy that owned the house was a politician and had a seat in Exeter. All his constituents clubbed together, had a massive portrait done for him, and then he lost. So he had to have his hat on the floor and he had to look sad in the portrait.
Yeah. Meanwhile, whilst Jason was listening to all the historic information, a lady also said that there is a mice hunt in the place.
Yeah.
So whilst he was doing that, I was looking for the mice. And I found them.
He had to find 6 on the ground floor.
Mice. And then when we went to the man at the end, he was like, we found all the 6 mice. Can we have a sticker? He looked at us and was like, I went, I'm not 32. He laughed. He gave us 1 each. Look.
Mission complete.
Mission complete.
Right, let's go into Exeter, shall we?
Yes.
So we've made it to Exeter city centre, and so has the really heavy rain. So we've taken the opportunity to dive into the RAM Museum, which is the Royal Albert Memorial Museum, completely free to enter, donations accepted of course. And we've just walked around the ground floor, which is the history of Exeter and Devon all the way from the 20th century right back to like fossils and stuff that they've discovered in the area. We've now made our way upstairs because this is the bit that we're really excited for. There's natural history up here and there's all sort of cultures from around the world, and we've just stumbled into this tiny room that is the Egypt section. Why do they always have to remove the bodies from them? That's definitely going to upset somebody. These museums are always cursed.
It does, and it smells funny.
They've even got mummified falcons.
Interesting.
Interesting displays upstairs. That is a lava.
Could have fooled me.
As you can see, we've made our way out of the museum and it is still pouring down. How about we find a spot somewhere for lunch? A spot of somewhere for lunch? How about we find somewhere for a spot of lunch?
I think that's the best thing you've said all day.
I'm pretty sure, I'm confident the rain's going to stop by the time we've had some lunch.
Yes.
I'd put my socks on it. I'm not putting anything too valuable, it is the UK. Well, that was an unscheduled stop due to the weather, but it was glorious. I mean, it was literally called the Glorious Art House. It was a really quirky, decorated little place, really funky inside. Really enjoyed my cherry and white chocolate blondie, and the latte was fantastic, but my God, was the service slow in there.
We waited 30 minutes for a croissant,
A blondie and a latte.
And a latte.
Normally, that would be a really good excuse to have a good old British moan. Not too mad about it today, because in the time we've been sat in there, the weather has actually improved a little, although it has just started raining again.
It is slowly brightening up.
I can see blue sky. The rain is easing, which means we crack on with our day. So Exeter, here we come. Oh, probably should mention, that's the old medieval bridge across the river. And funny thing, it leads on to where we're going next. Really cool story. You're going to love this, Josh.
Okay.
Let's go. Well, this is a bit of a bonus. I didn't know that you could still walk over the old bridge.
Yeah, at your own risk.
At your own risk,
Which means it might tumble.
Ah, well, it's all an adventure, isn't it? Let's go for it. Look at that! Walking on a piece of medieval history. How cool!
If I fall,
the funny thing is, it's got less potholes in it than the roads today.
that is a fair
It's
point.
hundreds of years old.
Fair point.
And that reminds me to mention, actually, if you're going to visit Killerton House and then come into Exeter, or vice versa, and you're going to use some sort of sat-nav like Waze or Google Maps, some of those roads are terrifying. They are not for the faint-hearted. They are absolutely full of potholes, really narrow, loads of mud on the roads, cars coming the other way. Actually, I think this medieval bridge is wider.
Oh, it's loads wider.
It is, isn't it?
I was about to say, I feel like we're doing something naughty.
Yeah, walking over it doesn't feel like we should be allowed, but
you can.
we are, so we did.
You can. It also looks like you can go down here as well. Someone's put some steps there. Well, you can go down there and walk all the way down here and then all the way down here.
Oh yeah, so you could probably go under one of the archways.
I'm not going to do that today.
Looks a bit wet.
Because it's wet. I've got white shoes on. I've already ruined them today.
Anyway, you know, I told you that there's a really cool story coming up that's kind of linked to this bridge, but kind of not.
There we go. We've got Jason's story.
Let's go and let's go to the right location. I'll tell you all about it. Come on, let's get on with it.
Grab your popcorn, guys.
I know you love my stories. Right, okay, story time. This is a really cute medieval part of the city. There's a church here with a really elaborate clock on it, which is really kind of cool, but that's not where the story is. The story is the house that's just opposite, the black and white framed timber house. It used to be called the Merchant's House. It was built in the 1400s.
Right.
Never used to be there. So when they replaced the old medieval bridge that we've just seen with the new bypass that's literally running right behind you at the minute, and the new river crossing,
Yeah.
that was set to be demolished. They decided they didn't want to do that.
No.
So they stripped it back just to the timber frame, put wheels in each corner, iron wheels like train wheels, laid rails from its previous location to its current location, and wheeled that house all the way to this new location and restored it here in 1961. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there pictures?
There probably is somewhere. I mean, it was only 1961, so cameras would have existed. But that is why it's affectionately known as the house that moved. It's literally got the sign on it. It moved
Oh, yeah.
one
I didn't even
location to
notice
another.
that.
How
That's cool.
incredible is that?
Cool. I want to look for pictures.
It doesn't end there either, because right opposite there's another black and white timber frame building.
Right.
And
Over
beside that is Stepcote Hill. How pretty does that look?
It is pretty.
Bad news for you.
Next to it.
We've got to walk up the hill. Oh.
Got it.
Ninja.
Ninja style. We need to go up these steps.
We do, we need to go up the hill.
Let's do it.
Oh, I should quickly mention before we go up the hill as well, that right next to that house that moved is the old west gate to the city. You know those red bricks on the left-hand side? Over there. With a little green plaque on it.
Yes.
Yeah, that
yes.
used to be one of the gateways to the city.
Oh.
Right, you first.
Why have I always got to go first?
Because then I can see how steep and how much hard work it actually is.
Right or left?
You choose. You go one side, I'll go the other.
I'll go right, you go left.
Perfect.
Oh, it's not too bad.
Yeah, you only just started.
It's not too bad.
I'm gonna say it's actually not that bad. It's not as bad as I expected it to be.
I told you so.
You did, you were right. I am gonna say though, I'd only be happy to walk up it. I don't think I'd want to bring the car up here.
Oh, I don't know, but I think driving the car down might be fun. Oh, it looks quite cool down this angle.
Look at that bit of road there where that drain is. There's literally a sheer cliff drop off the side of that, and you want to bring the car down here?
Ah, it'd be fun.
He says until it's our car coming down.
We'll use someone else's.
Rental car, yep, cool.
Yeah, rental car it is.
Do you know where this reminds me of?
Where did we go not long ago? Can't remember.
It reminds me a little bit of Mermaid Street in Rye.
Oh, that's not what I was thinking.
Just on a smaller scale, or one of the hills in Lincoln.
Lincoln, that's what I was thinking of.
It has
but
got Lincoln vibes,
yeah,
doesn't it?
Both of them, yeah.
we've made it to Cathedral Yard, and it's actually quite a cute, diddy little cathedral as far as cathedrals go.
It's really tiny.
It is, isn't it? Now, you can take a tour of the cathedral, and the tour takes you right to the top of that tower.
We're not doing that today.
Luckily for you, today isn't the day they do the tour, so, so we're not.
What a shame.
But that's a reason to come back, because you know damn well if they were doing that tour, we'd be up the top of that right now.
I know.
Well, this is a fascinating part of the city to walk around, because you've got like the modern day stuff, like the Hotel Indigo. In amongst like medieval architecture and random stuff, and we've just stumbled across the ruins of this old chapel just in the middle of, like, there's literally a Wagamama's right behind it, there's a Lloyd's Lounge, the Hotel Indigo, there's loads of bars and stuff around here, and then this is just stood here.
I suppose they had to build around it because obviously they couldn't knock it down.
Better than knocking it down, yeah. And then there's these perspex panels which have got things like set into them, and we're assuming they're artifacts that were found on this site, maybe? It's kind of cool though.
I just thought they were metal detectors. Obviously not.
He literally just said to me, I thought it was like airport security on the way through the door. So we just found a sign over there giving us some information. They are where doors would have stood when this was as it was built, and they are genuine artifacts found on the site. What is that?
Well, I don't think that's a Coca-Cola can.
That is a Coke can. I'm guessing it does say they're encapsulated though from like across time when it stood here, so I guess it kind of makes sense. Not all as historic as others, I guess. I think it's kind of cool that they picked that to put in there, to be honest. So we were just walking down the main high street here in Exeter, and our eyes were drawn to St Stephen's Church, because right next to it is St Stephen's Bow, which is this really low little archway. That is a genuine street, but it's not the most famous street here in Exeter. We just got slightly distracted by this cute little courtyard that we've just stumbled into. Check out that bug hotel. That's incredible.
It's cute.
It is really cute. And then it's weird because everywhere you look there's like new building, and then what looks like one of the red brick, like really old buildings. And then there's just this random little chapel in the courtyard as well.
Again, they must have built around it, I guess.
I would say so. I don't think Comptoir Libanais dates from the same period as that.
What about boots?
Maybe not boots, no. We found it. We are on Parliament Street. Now, this claims to be the narrowest street in the world. It's 50 metres long, and at its narrowest part, it's 4 feet wide. I'm always a little bit dubious when somewhere claims to be something. Like,
I don't know, I feel like
is it official?
I've been in thinner.
Is it because it's a street?
Maybe.
And not just an alleyway?
Maybe.
It's not like a passage or anything, it's officially called Parliament Street.
Maybe.
So does that mean vehicles would have come down here? Like,
absolutely not.
Little single horse and cart or something? It's definitely getting narrower though. I'm going to have to turn around to see where I'm going, I think. But I can feel it, like it's this bit, look.
Yeah.
The buildings are like wonky as well. I can feel it enclosing. It's like one of those things that you feel like you've got to run to the end before it closes on you.
This bit's definitely getting narrower.
Oh, there's a puddle at the end and all.
Oh, don't say that. Oh god, yeah, this is, okay, I get it. I'm not going to go through to that bit.
You can do it. So we were just stood looking at the ruins of the old Rougemont Castle, and we noticed this plaque to the Devon witches in memory of the last people in England to be executed for witchcraft. They were tried here and hanged at Heavytree. I don't know where Heavytree is, but they were found guilty of witchcraft here, last people to be tried and hung for it.
Lovely.
Let's not stay around here when it gets dark.
No, let's not.
Can you believe this weather? Just look at this. You would think it was a different day. But I was just doing some research because I was absolutely fascinated by those ruins that we were wandering through. And I found out that in April 1942, Exeter was one of the first cities to be bombed by the German Luftwaffe in World War II. When we was in the museum earlier, we actually saw an old Luftwaffe map that they used to pick out their targets here in Exeter. And apparently they bombed historic and cultural sites rather than strategic ones, and they've left the ruins as a memorial to the Exeter Blitz, which reminds me of our time in Coventry And you can see that video by clicking here, because their entire cathedral was gutted by the German Luftwaffe, and that was definitely incredible to wander around. So if medieval stuff and ruins like that are your thing, go and check us out over there.
That is far too much historic information for me.
That's why you got me.